but there's money in there, right? Now, after I've heard it from my mentors and Dr. Ati, I saw a need to read it regardless, right? I actually took that from the US, from Zach. Zach loves it so much, so Zach was my cabin mate. These are people that were once slaves, and they became so so. That I actually took that from the US, from Zach. Zach loves it so much, so Zach was my cabin mate. Every time we bump into each other, we'd be like, "Yo, what's up?" It's crazy. Yeah, so we're back again doing another book review. Hope you love this one. Tell me if you enjoyed the previous one, and the other thing, guys, before we start, let me know how you're doing. I know that on these subscribers that I have right now, which is about 217 people. In there are people that I haven't seen in a while, and they know me. I know them personally. Guys, tell me how you're doing. Just leave a comment. Tell me where you are as well. People like but I've spoken to Mulebuing Madela lately. I know, like, I miss you, by the way. I miss those moments when you're going out and stuff. They slightly, but yeah, I do miss them. I even met a lot of people in a while, but yeah, just tell me, guys, where you are and how you're doing, right? And so today we're gonna be doing this book review. Can you guys say it? The Richest Man in Babylon. We will be doing this book. So if you notice, the common thing about this book and the book that I previously reviewed is the word rich. They both talk about rich. So I'm gonna explain as we continue on with these book reviews why I'm reading the types of books that I'm reading, but yeah, not even bad. So we will be doing this one. I'm so excited. So there's something I'm shooting this daylight, so there's some construction happening outside. Some things that it's some things that are happening. So excuse the noise as it intrudes, right? So this book, I'm gonna tell you how did I get to have this book and why did I choose to buy this book, right? Number one, it was recommended by my mentor a long time ago. And again, it was advocated for by Dr. Ati, which I have interviewed, one of the best top viewed interview on my channel. Dr. Ati speak a lot about this book and of course tells a story from his angle about this book. I love that interview. It's one of the interviews that also made my inspiration around money to be better, because Ati is my peer. To hear someone speaking about money like that really changed my life. So you can watch the interview. It's very nice. And yeah, and how did I get to have this copy? I remember I had sold one of my motorcycles, and after selling that motorcycle, I with the money that they just gave me, I went straight to the second-hand bookstore that was in the mall that I was making the transaction or like sealing the deal around. So yeah, I therefore went and pick up some books. I got this as one of the as one of the books in that package. So that's how I bought this book. I read most of this book while I was in America, but of course I started before I went to America. Like I told you that I take time to read a book, to finish in actual fact. So yeah, I bought this book in that I got to have this copy like in that manner, right? And I read most of it while I was in the US, and it was nice. I really enjoyed the book too. Um, what is it that stood out for me on this book? This book, it's nice and important, and and fascinating. I'm really running out of words. And fascinating because this one, it's not like the previous book that I was reviewing. This one, it's a very practical book. You read this book and you act. So you are able to become the richest man. Well, you might not be situated in Babylon because it doesn't exist anymore. And by the way, I didn't even know where's Babylon and what this man was talking about. George Clason. And the richest man in Babylon is a guy that started from nothing and grew up average and then went on to become rich. And part of his journey to be rich was luck, and most of it was just applying the principles of money. So the richest men in Babylon give tips around how he amassed his wealth. Why it makes sense that they came up with this title. So the guy that the book is mainly around, the richest man in Babylon, is a guy that, like I said, grew up average and just did hard work and became successful. And now he get called in the village or in the region that since he's rich, can he come and give a lecture to other people in Babylon so that men in Babylon can also be rich? So the king at that moment, cause this man is like, how is it that you're comfortable with being rich by yourself while you have so many men around here in Babylon that are going through some economical detriments, and they are poor basically. How about you come and teach our people here in Babylon how to be rich, since you are also from Babylon? So yeah, that's how the man tells the story, or that's how the books start to unfold. It's a man that grew up and come now to share, that grew up rich, and now, like, by grew up rich I mean like he became successful, but he came from nothing really. Like I said, he became successful, and now he comes back to teach at least 100 men, because the king was like, come and teach 100 men how to be rich in Babylon, so that Babylon can be one of the richest cities in the world. And it became like that, amazingly. So this guy hold a meet. Okay, the king calls the meetings. This guy start classes, teaches this guy how to fit in your past, how to make more money, what did I do, and stuff like that. It's a very interesting book. It's written on story mode, so it's like story is an analogy of some sort, but it's based on some true story. So this guy, for instance, tells a story of the man that he met, which which he came in partnership with, and the man was like, I want to have you in partnership, so that when I die, I know that my kids' wealth is in good preservations. Wait, there's such a word. Sorry, I'm getting so comfortable. That my kids will get to be well preserved. Yeah, so that's where we find the richest man in Babylon. And I think it's a first chapter, I'm not sure, but let me just get it. I think it's a first chapter, richest man in Babylon, and it goes on to teach you about other things. The man who desired the gold. No, it's not the first one. It's the second one. The richest man in Babylon. There's a man who desired the gold as well. Gold as well. So it's fascinating. It's really nice. You gotta read it if you want to, of course, be well off around your money, because the stories are so practical. And this is one thing that made me to enjoy the book. So I'm not a very fast learner. If you're gonna teach me something, teach me in a simplest way, using example, using stories, but mostly using stories. I learn a lot from like storytelling than methodologies, if I can put it like that. Read this book if you want to have better finances. It has all helped me a lot. One of the things that I discovered from this book, and which I've come to make my habits is the habit of saving. I wasn't really interested in saving money after I've read Rich Dad Poor Dad, because he doesn't really encourage one to save. He says if you save, the money is going to depreciate, because money is a depreciating asset, right? But this book tells you that in order to fatten your purse, you gotta save, uplift your money, like lift your money. So now I got to save, right? I make sure that although it's not a lot of money, but I make sure that there's always money that is saved. I'm not gonna go back and show you the money that I showed you, but I can just show you like some of the things that I have. I don't know if you can see that, but there's money in there, right? There's money in there. So this is something I now embrace, having money in the account to save. And the money that is there is not really a lot of money. It's actually $300, I think, that I have in there. It's not really a lot of money, but it's the money that I wouldn't have in my account, and I wouldn't be so encouraged to have it in my account because I was against the idea of saving. So the book encourages you that have more money coming into you than going out, that invest, and again, make your money work for you. I don't know if I move on from the story of this guy now coming to teach the whole village how to be rich. Like that's what I like. This guy start from the stretch that this is what happened in my life, and this is how I reacted and everything like that. And he says in the class, I believe everyone can be in my position. If I'm able, Babylonians, to come from your position and be in this position. And as I continued to read the book, I realized and noticed that Babylon actually became the richest city in the world. And although right now it doesn't exist anymore, I think it's placed in Asia, yeah, but it doesn't exist anymore. It's a desert where it used to be Babylon. And this book is written in parables. So this guy George S. Clason went on to simplify the parables that he found in the teachings of Babylon, right? And the nice thing about the book is that it's written on an average man. Why am I saying that? Because the people that come to be displayed and to tell the stories on the book, these are people that were once slaves, and and they became free. And they became free. And like there are different ways, of course, it's not only one way. And there's a story that I like so much in the book of a loaner, like a person that gives out loans. This guy tells in the book tells the common story that people or his clients make around money, like the mistakes that people make around money, since he's got a lot of customers that came to him wanting to loan money. He's telling a story of how did those people live, and how did their money look like, and what is it that they lost to to him, that they used as a collateral to have a loan. I'm just gonna read this last thing, right? Acclaimed as modern day classic, this celebrated bestseller offers an understanding and a solution to your personal financial problems that will guide you through a lifetime. And the other thing that I want to read is where is this? Okay. Countless readers have been helped by the famous Babylonians parables. Like I said, it's a book around parables, hailed as the greatest of all inspiration works on the subject of thrift, financial planning, and personal wealth. That's what I was saying, that the book is a personal wealth book, right? So that's why I love this book. I love it so much. I really enjoyed it. As to why you shouldn't read this book, maybe it's because one of the reasons why I didn't read the book is because the book is not written in plain English. So it's written in a biblical language. So thee, they, thou. Yes, that language. It's written in that language. Maybe you don't like that language, and because myself, I should have read this book a long time ago. But now I was stuck in that language, but I don't like this language. But it was a soft paper that I was attempting to read. I didn't like that language. But now, after I've heard it from my mentors and Dr. Ati, I saw a need to read it regardless, right? So maybe you don't like that book. And this book, again, it's written in ancient way, from ancient context. So maybe you don't like indigenous knowledge. Maybe you shouldn't read this book because you're gonna be bored. It's irrelevant in current stories, in the current sense, but the message and the message and the sense still apply. I know I might be sounding very counterintuitive, but yeah, the message still apply, but the times are different. Maybe that's why you shouldn't read this book. And the other thing that I would say maybe you shouldn't read this book is that there's no reason, man. I think you should read it, but because it's even a short read. It's not as thick as the other one that I've read. This book gives you practical steps on how to be rich and how to be in a position where your finances are better. Now, guys, let's be honest. Richness is not a standardized concept or results, right? It's subjective. What richness means to me, it's not as the same as the next person, right? But bettering your finance, this is a good book. It talks about steps, and I'm gonna read those steps to you. These are steps that I saw very important to write down. So steps that we get from the book, right? If you wanna end brokenness, number one, start fattening your purse. This means if you have 500 or you have 6,000 in your account right now, you just wanna save on top of that amount. Save, keep saving, keep saving. As the amount grow, then that's when the account or the wallet or the purse is fattening, right? Step number two, control your expenditures, which is something as well that I discovered from the previous book. But since we're talking about this book, so it says control your expenditures. What this means is, since I don't know if you've noticed this, but once your money grows, your expenses get to grow. So the book says there must be a limit to your desires and your expenses, since there's a limit to your time. You remember I spoke about oh god, I'm really sorry, I'm implicating this book with the previous book. I don't know if there's a good way to do it, but let me abstain from it and talk about only this book. So even this book does suggest that one shouldn't work for money. They shouldn't trade their time for money. So it says control your expenditures. As much as there's a limit to your time, that we are all given 24 hours in a day, you should also make limits around your money. So it continued to say what we call a necessary expense can always grow as the money grows. I don't know. Yeah, I was mentioning this, that when your money grow, your expenses automatically grow. I guess that's a law of money, but yeah, that's what the book says. And it says, like, set a budget. There should be budget around the things. And this is what I'm talking about, right? That the book is so practical. And these are the things that one is able to attempt at any level, at any day of the month, right? And then step number three, multiply your money. And yeah, multiply your money. So on the book, this step number three of ending brokenness, it says multiply the money. So what I got to learn from the book is that the money that you have saved, the money that you fattened the account on, that money is the money that you should make it multiply instead of putting it into work, right? So that's one of the things that I've got to realize in the book. And the book says you should never judge a man by how much is in his account, but you should judge a man by how many streams of income he has. This is just mind-blowing. So the book also says that, and there are a lot of practical things that the book says. But which lines that stood out for me from this book, one of the favorite lines that I like from this book is that a man of action is, paraphrasing as well here, a man of action is favored by the goddess of luck. Something around that if you take action, if you work, you are close to being lucky, or you are close to attract good luck, right? And the other line that I love from this book is, a little caution is better than a great regret. Like something like that, that when you invest your money, when you put away your money, remember one thing: don't lose money, and have knowledge on whatever that you put your money on. I learned that from this book. I keep going back on it, and I have made some notes on my diary around the things that I've learned from this book. Yeah, otherwise it's a good book. And pay yourself first. The book also suggests that pay yourself first on every money. Like it says, on the money that you keep, make sure that, or on the money that you earn, make sure that you have the money to keep. Something around that. You see, these are the things that inspired me to suddenly want to save money. And of course there are temptations around saving money, but the book guides you around that. So yeah, thank you so much, and I love you guys. Bye.